Always exciting, always a pleasure to feature a Cellar Angel's favorite. Wait till you see what's new with Delgadillo Cellars. Well, it is always a joy to come out to the Valley and see you, so thank you for having us. And Cellar Angels, we'd be remiss without thanking you and everything you've done for the company over the years, because Delgadillo Cellars is one of our favorite features, and so we're excited to see you again and feature some more wine.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you, Martin. Well, it's always a pleasure to see you guys, and we always appreciate the support that Cellar Angels gives us and the support that we're able to give back to all the charities that you guys support.
That's huge. And I think what's great for us is over the years now we've been able to see you grow. So not grow in terms of, it's not like you're producing 5,000 cases, and we'll get into just how small a production this is. But now we're in an area in Napa where people can actually come and taste your wine. So talk to me a little bit about that, because that's fairly new for you.
Yeah. We were fortunate enough to be part of the Wine Thief when they started. And the Wine Thief is a small tasting room here in downtown Napa. And they feature small producers just like us. We're a little small in terms of our overall production to have a tasting room on our own. And so this sort of allows us all to kind of have some strength in numbers. So we can feature our wines. We can all be exposed to different people and have some foot traffic, which is great.
And so you're off of First Avenue, right across from Oxbow Market. So a lot of people, Oxbow's a huge draw. So I would tell anybody, if you're going to be in Oxbow, just literally walk across the street and go taste some great wines.
Yeah.
So we'll continue with that messaging. But you've also added a new wine. So you for years produced 100% Cabernet. You have a very special aging philosophy on the wine, and now you've added a new wine. So share with us the thought process on that and what you're going to have in store for people.
So the Delgadillo Red was something that I sort of came about. My dad was stuck on making cab and making his version of the ideal Napa cab. And we all know how stubborn he can be, which is how he came about, the aging structure and is sort of how he is as a stickler to quality. And, for years we were just producing the cab, and we had a little bit of wine that was left over because not everything that we produced would give us the balance that the cab needed, or the balance that my dad was looking for. So we used to sell, the leftovers as bulk wine, and it literally broke my heart because we would put in so much work into making this stuff. It was so good, and but my dad didn't really think it was if we blended it all together that we could call it cab, because it wasn't in his mind the ideal Napa cab. So finally I said, Dad, this stuff is too good to be sold as bulk wine. I'm gonna bottle it, I'm gonna label it, and you let me figure out what to do with it.
Well, I think the neat thing about it too is your flagship wine has 9 to 10 different Cabernet components depending upon when it was harvested, oak regimen. So the quote-unquote leftover wine that you're now bottling is still 100% cab, still one of the main ingredients that go into the final blend, but now it's just a standalone.
It's just a standalone, yeah, and it's kind of our best kept secret because it's called a red. It's not called a red blend, and most people assume when they hear red that it's a blend, but it kind of tastes like a red blend. It's very light. It's a great everyday wine. And that's how I sort of convinced my dad that we can do it. We weren't calling it a cab.
So when we talked earlier about production, and I think it is still amazing to people how much you produce. So what's a big year?
Well, a big year for us, we're still producing 100 cases of the cab. We're looking to produce more, but because of our aging schedule, if I were to double or triple production of 2017 cab, we wouldn't see it till 2023 or 2024. So it's kind of hard from a business standpoint to grow the cab, but I think we need to throw out all reason when it comes to a business model with the cab, because it doesn't follow any standard, but I think that's what makes it so special.
No, and I think it's worth repeating and mentioning the aging philosophy is your father wants the wine to age, and he's willing to take on the responsibility of aging because he wants, when you or the consumer opens up the bottle, they want it to be perfect. So on average, it's about 7 years before release?
Yeah, 7. Our minimum that my dad won't go any less is 6 years total. So at least 2 to 3 years in barrel and the rest of the time in the bottle before release.
Well, everything is fantastic. The Wine Thief is certainly a great place to showcase the wines, and we're happy for people to come out and see you. So continued success and continued growth, both in the family and also in the business.
Cheers, thanks.
Cheers. Always a fantastic time with Iggy. Do yourselves a favor. It's downtown Napa. Get to the Wine Thief. Taste Delgadillo Cellars. 2 new wines, same great low production. Thank you so much for all the support. Cheers.